So an unfortunate thing I've learned about myself in the last week
Uh-huh.
is I think I might become a Dramini person, and I
Oh.
don't like that.
I don't really like that
Yeah.
either. Sam, what have you done?
Are you just like really into the idea of the fanfic coming out as a real book?
Oh, I'm real into that. Like, I will be frothing at the mouth for Manacled Alchemized on
Yeah.
September 30th.
Oh, that's
'Cause,
so far
like,
from now.
Just so far.
Tragically.
It's just so good. Like,
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am one of your hosts, Sophie, and I come from an illustrious lineage of job havers. And, of course, we are from a place. The job that I have and the place that I am from is a bognar from the Magic Treehouse of Bugs.
Wow, very cohesive.
It's like, very cohesive, but also, bog, not bugnar. But they
Yeah,
are
but,
very
like,
similar words.
But both bugs and bogs co-occur frequently. It's the gnawing that's the problem.
I do have to wonder how you gnaw upon a bog, which is very
bog.
wet.
You have to gnaw a bog.
Yeah. Because I imagine, like, those, like, slabs of toffee you could get in those, like, plaid wrappers. Like, that's the sort of thing you gnaw on. Not normally, like, a wet ground.
I mean, I feel like you could gnaw on some peat pretty easily, no?
Okay, that's fair.
It's, like, fibrous.
Right. So, sort of, like, by requirement, it's a peat bog.
I guess so.
Am I gnawing upon the bog people who are submerged into the peat?
Oh my goodness.
Give me the peat, boys.
Give me stop it. It feeds my soul.
I want to lay down in a mossy hole.
Wow. Yeah, so that's who I am, and I am in the Magic Treehouse of Bugs. Anyway, who are you guys, and what jobs do you have? And also, where are you from?
Well, my name is Sam, and I'm a coffee breather from the Hotel of Ice.
Coffee breather. Yeah.
Ooh, iced coffee, though.
Coffee breather immediately makes me think of, like, somebody at the office with a mug that just says, like, I breathe coffee. Don't talk to me until I've breathed my coffee.
It made me think of a particular person.
Wow. No, the coffee breather is Sam. Wait.
Yes.
Wait, Sam.
Correct.
Wait.
I drink a lot of coffee.
You don't breathe coffee very much anymore.
No.
Tragically. For the sleep.
How sad.
You can't breathe coffee if you want to sleep.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Fair. And the Hotel of Ice. I feel like if I went to the Hotel of Ice, I wouldn't breathe coffee, but I would breathe a lot of hot beverages.
Yeah, me too.
It would be very cool. I love that. Who's the last one?
My name is Hannah, and I, of course, am a fire speaker from the facility of Beach.
So, like, is your job, like, lifeguard or...
No, my job is fire speaker.
Oh,
actually.
Okay. So you're from, like, lifeguard or, like...
I work at Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know Ken?
Of course.
We hang out.
Ken's job is Beach, but you just live there.
Yeah, I just live there.
Okay, got it. Wow, fire speaker. So you just, like, sit by the bonfire, strumming your guitar.
Well, that would be a fire
it.
singer, no?
Okay, fair.
Oh, do I do, like, spoken word poetry around the campfire?
Yeah.
God, I'm the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
On the beach. Wow, I suck.
No, you, like, tell stories or whatever. That could be spoken word poetry, I guess.
That's true. I just tell a regular old story, but I strum a guitar while I'm doing it.
Yeah, it depends how annoying you are about it. If we're calling
You've
you a
met me.
storyteller or a spoken word poetry kind of guy.
Which is the more annoying one?
Anyway, moving on. Obviously, the reason we have jobs in our from places is because we are reading the book wherein people have jobs in our from places. The only one, which is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we have read one chapter for this episode, and I know who's going to do it. Hannah
Yeah.
is going to tell
job.
us. No, yeah, tell us what happened in it. Take it away.
Yeah. All right, well, welcome back to Brooklyn, folks. I hope you remember what happened last time because we don't. Clary, Jace, Isabel, Alec, and Simon take the subway to some industrial park with a bunch of grimy lofts, following the invitation to Magnus Bane's party and Isabel's censor somehow. Clary is freaked out by the idea of Magnus Bane, the High Warlock or whatever, digging around in her brain after all of the digging in there she has already experienced in the last 24 hours. When they arrive at the right building, Alec enthuses over some souped-up vampire motorcycles, and then when they ring the doorbell, they are greeted by a man who walked straight out of a 2010s emo Tumblr boy blog, who is, of course, Magnus Bane himself.
Mm.
And then, it's party time. Clary notices some interesting-looking downworlders hanging around. Alec and Jace vandalize one of the motorcycles, and Jace threatens Magnus Bane into answering some questions about Clary's brain. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to the brain digging in this chapter, but Magnus Bane does confirm what we have surely all suspected, that it was Clary's mum Jocelyn who asked for the block to be put on her mind.
Wow. The drama.
The drama of it all. The drama of the Magnus Bane.
Yeah. I know this is not standard protocol, but as I was scrolling to get to this chapter, I was scrolling through the previous chapter in my ebook, and I laughed out loud again right at the end of the previous chapter where Simon says in all caps, "Certainly not, comma," and then I just, it was just really got me. It's
very
still
funny.
really funny.
There's one of those in this chapter, too.
Yeah, unfortunately for everyone, it's been like 2 months since I've read any chapters of this book, and I just am back on board the Simon's funny train.
Simon is funny.
Gonna be flip-flopping all over the place.
Listen, as someone who is both annoying and funny, he can also be both, okay?
Yeah. He had
It's possible.
He had two very good lines in this chapter.
I feel like there were quite a few funny lines in this chapter.
Yeah, the first one, I guess we don't need to talk about it yet, unless we're gonna talk about something before the vampires. But when they arrive at the supposed Magnus Bane house, there's the vampire motorcycles lined up outside, and Jace is like, vampires, and Simon's like, they look like motorcycles to me. It was good.
Remember when your boyfriend turned into a motorcycle or something? Didn't that happen?
Yeah, in Alan Wake 2 DLC,
okay.
he was a werewolf, and also his motorcycle was a werewolf too.
Right. I forgot the context, but I remember that we laughed about this concept already.
My real life boyfriend turned into a motorcycle. That's rough, buddy.
I thought it was in a dream. You told us about.
You thought it was a dream?
I thought you came on the podcast and were like, "Yo, guys,
that's his dream."
I had this crazy dream where my boyfriend turned into a motorcycle.
No, I could never write something as perfect as guy is a werewolf and also his motorcycle is also a werewolf, like Alan Wake 2 DLC. It's so good. I'll think about it for the rest of my life. Anyway, I'm glad you brought this up because I was also thinking about it when I read this part.
Great. Let's see.
Okay, anyway, before that.
There's nothing that interesting before that. They get to Brooklyn.
Other than, like, I'm standing by Clary being weird about Simon being interested in Isabel.
Yes,
I'm
definitely.
still on that train. And her and Jace having a moment that
Yeah.
doesn't really seem different than their other moments of sarcasm. But Jace is like, wow, you're really out of character right now. What's up?
Yes. He says there is a fine line between sarcasm and outright hostility, and you seem to have crossed it. Which I really like as a line.
Yeah,
That's a good
See,
line.
Jace's good one.
he gets it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I have no comments about it. Just that that's what happened.
That's true.
I didn't have anywhere to go from there. Yeah, we also get Alec clearly showing that he's going to do a heel turn because he's been in love with Jace this whole time. And
Yeah.
Jace is now in love with Clary. There's
Yeah.
just a lot of triangles, pentagons, various sided shapes of love interests.
Yes. A lot of love shapes.
Yeah, because I
Mhm.
feel like there's Isabel, who is maybe actually interested in Simon, but maybe pretending to be interested in Simon to mess around with Clary.
Yeah.
And then Clary can't decide if she's interested in Simon, but then is clearly into Jace. Jace is clearly into her. Isabel's probably mad about Jace being into Clary, even if she's not into Jace.
Yeah.
Alec loves Jace. There's a lot.
Simon loves Isabel, and I think maybe also Clary.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of YA happening here. I'm just saying. There's a
Yeah,
lot
there
of
is.
the first of the early 2000s YAs to have so many love triangles and other shapes.
Ugh,
Look,
so
it
many shapes.
it keeps the people interested.
If
Mhm,
you're
the
gonna
people.
do a multi-book series and
You
have
gotta.
romantic plots as a main point, you cannot just have one coupling love interest. It does not work because it will get boring unless, I don't know, I guess there are some people who just want to read about the same people frothing at the mouth for
Yeah.
each other.
Hannah's right there. You don't have to call her out like that.
But Hannah likes to
I was
read
like,
about,
I don't know if you're making
friendships
fun
and
of me.
families. No, I'm
Yeah.
being facetious about Onyx Storm at the moment because we are recording this a day after I got my Onyx Storm copy, and I'm just mad about one
All of it.
romantic pairing because you decided to write a 5-book series in first person. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. I was not calling
Yeah.
out Hannah.
I was.
I-
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel like, did this book come out after? When did Hunger Games come out?
They would have been around the same time. Let me check.
I guess it doesn't really matter because the third book
Yeah.
would have come out way after this. And I'm sort
The
of
Hunger
thinking
Games
of...
was a year later.
Okay.
Yeah, the Hunger Games book was 2008. I think
Yeah.
the movie was 2010.
Because I feel like the iconic love triangle everyone thinks about is Twilight, right? Like that is the
Yeah.
first one most people were exposed to as teens in our age category.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I didn't read this book, so I don't know if it was as notable of a love triangle, but I feel like the love triangle that was done really well as like a more metaphor was
Yeah.
the Hunger Games, right? Because it was like, oh, is Katniss going to choose like her old life, her new life, this like who she was at this point, who she is now, who she was after this, who she was after that, you know, like,
Yeah, like, is she choosing
yeah.
war or moving on?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I feel like this, I believe Suzanne Collins would like take inspiration from something like this, where it's like, oh, I like the idea here and like expand upon it. Because I can sort of see it, right? Like, Clary, are you going to choose to be human, your human life, or are you going to choose to be Shadowhunter? Who are you going to be with? You know, we're
I feel like
barely into the book. Maybe that's not what's happening.
I was gonna say the other like alternative as to why this is not an iconic teen love triangle is maybe there actually isn't one, and we just
Yeah.
assume that it will be because it is acting like it.
Yeah, that's fair. There could not be one. And I could just be
Who
reading
knows?
into it too much by only reading one chapter very closely
Yeah,
every month.
yeah. I'm also reading the same thing into it, but I guess we're like almost halfway through this book,
Yeah.
but still.
Although, you know, this does feel very accurate to teen dynamics, you know?
True.
I
You're
feel
just
like
jealous of everybody all the time.
Yeah, I feel like teen groups, you're like interested in this person and then you change who you're interested in like the next week. And yeah. Anyway, any thoughts, Sam?
Yeah, I was trying to think of what to say without like
Yeah, spoilering it all.
Yeah, because I don't like love triangles, and it kind of always started because that's what all the YA books were doing because
Yeah.
of Twilight. And I feel like in this one, without spoiling it, it's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, I
It
think we know she
never
ends up with Jay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's like reasons why you think they aren't gonna be together, and
Right.
like it's
The
not
incest.
Yeah. So it's not as like in your face, but now I'm like thinking of City of Ashes, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is City of Ashes is weird. I mean, City of Glass, it's all weird because of the incest.
The incest.
In the maybe incest, which probably isn't incest.
It's not actually
it's not
incest,
actually
but it's the
You just think it's incest.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I really hope we don't get to incest in this book.
That would be cool.
Okay,
but
great.
yeah, so you never, the love triangle isn't like super in your face because it's never really a love triangle. Like
Right.
there's always like a clear path, and like even in this situation, it's not like Jace and Simon are both like Edward and Jacob were like
Ugh.
fighting, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was
Right.
like it was very like in your face, like two men being like, "Oh no, she's mine,
Yeah.
mine."
Yeah.
Whereas these
Yeah.
two are just both like, Simon's a dumb teenager. Jace is also a teenager, but like a little bit like wise for his years, whatever.
Yeah.
So
He's older
think
by a
that's-
year, which we all know makes
Yeah.
him cooler
that
and
makes
hotter.
Uh-huh.
a difference at that age.
Wiser and just better in every way. Yeah. We
yeah,
know.
exactly.
We all
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I think that's why I like kind of attached to this series so much, was because yeah, that wasn't in your face, but you also get like multiple romances in the series. Like it's
Right.
not just like, obviously there's the main one because Clary is the main character, but there is a lot of side stuff that goes on, which is the advantage of writing, you know, a fantasy series in third person.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Wow, interesting. I wonder
who
what
would've thunk
you
it?
could be referring to. Could be anything.
Could be
Could be
anything.
anything. It's a
Could
mystery.
be anything.
Yeah.
Do you feel at all like maybe we're gonna learn too much about you and your book preferences by reading these books? Because I'm like, interesting. Reasons to delay the romance, have them pining over each other for book after book after book. No wonder Sam liked this book so much first. Before all the other
Listen.
ones.
Uh-huh. We listen.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm learning so much about you.
I've
and
said it in the
Boleyn.
group chat so many times.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do a trilogy with a romantic pairing and you want it to be that same pairing,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, some people want that instant gratification, but like, you can have little smooches along the way, but the big moment, that doesn't happen till book 3 if
Yeah.
you're doing it right.
Yeah. No,
And
I
a lot
believe
of people
I'm there
aren't
with
doing
you.
it right.
I just feel like if you guys read the like 3 Mercedes Lackey series I read over and over when I was 14 and 15, you would be like reading it being like, oh, I understand why Sophie is how she is. And I feel a little bit like, I understand Sam's book preferences so much more now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Anyway, look, we all know, I agree, that if you're going to have a multi-book series, don't make the characters get together in the first book. Then I don't want to read the rest of them.
Exactly.
Put it off however you want. I can suspend my disbelief pretty far. Anyway, back to the book we've been reading.
Yes, no more shade to that series.
Yeah, some other series that we're not reading.
Some other series.
Mm-hmm.
So Magnus Bane is the guy who is visiting Madame Dorothea, right?
He's gotta be.
Gotta be. His cat eyes. His
His
golden
cat eyes.
skin.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He's just so hot.
He's so hot. He, like, surely I saw this man on Tumblr
Like,
in
so much.
2017.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Glee?
Yeah.
Yes?
You remember Harry Shum? He was Mike,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He plays him in the TV show,
This,
if that helps.
Okay. I
Oh,
can picture.
okay.
I can picture him immediately.
Yeah.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Love
I got it.
Okay.
It was his eyes were crusted with a raccoon mask of charcoal glitter that just like teleported me back to the emo MySpace
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
stage of humanity.
And all of the buckles on his jacket. I
All
just
of
looked
the
up a picture
buckles.
of him as Magnus Bane, and it's pretty good. I'm a fan.
Okay, well, now I need to look.
Okay, maybe too much eyeliner.
No, impossible, as I haven't looked it up yet.
Impossible.
I think it might have just been the one angle that was too much eyeliner. The
Dang.
rest of them are pretty good.
Dang, though.
Wow. See, he does look a little more badass this way. I was picturing him a little more flamboyant.
I think
He
is.
has drag energy
Yeah.
in this chapter.
I
and
wouldn't
in these
call
pictures-
any of these photos a raccoon mask of
Yeah.
charcoal glitter, you know?
Where's the navy blue glittery lipstick? Hello?
Yeah. No, that's fair. He's morally gray because he's also gender ambiguous. That's how you know.
Yes. Oh, right. I forgot that that's
classic
how that
move.
works. Damn it.
No, I was about to say I would deeply have found this man hot in 2005 but I'm saying that as though it's not true now.
Yeah, it's like, or in 2025.
Or in 2025. Yeah. So
20 years later, still hot.
So they go to this hot man's house for his party for his cat.
Yeah. The cat is him, right?
Or church.
I
Wait.
think it's him.
He says
think
he
he
had a
turns
cat
into
and
the
his
cat.
cat ran away.
I think he's the cat.
Oh, I see. Like he changes shapes, and so
Yeah,
okay, I get it. Okay, that makes sense because he does have cat eyes.
he does have cat eyes.
He does have cat eyes. I do want to just briefly talk about cat eyes.
Okay.
Well, so I feel like the vibe here is, this extremely hot man has cat
Uh-huh.
eyes. Ooh, magical. Ooh, dangerous. He's some sort of cat
Uh-huh.
man. How attractive.
What that?
But
No.
no, don't.
Nope.
But like, there's a reason we don't have cat eyes.
Uh-huh. What is it?
And it's mostly that like he probably has really good crepuscular vision.
Uh-huh.
So Twilight. Wait, no. Confusing. Like evening
Twilight,
and
perhaps
morning.
the
yeah.
break of dawn.
No, stop it. Midnight sun. No. So they're really good at seeing at dawn and dusk. And they're way better at seeing things move in low light, but they're like really bad at seeing things move quickly in like full light, and they really can't see things that move slowly.
Really? I thought cats were good, like, visual hunters.
Yeah, but they're active like at dawn and dusk, so they have worse sight during the daytime than at those times.
Okay.
And if something is moving like really slowly, to them it seems like it stands still.
Like the T-Rex in
Yeah,
Jurassic
exactly.
Park.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think they have worse color vision than dogs. Anyway.
Dogs have decent color vision,
Yeah.
it turns out, don't they?
No, they see in like blues and yellows.
Yeah, but I guess compared to when we were kids, we thought it was black and white. So
Yeah.
there's more
Oh.
than I thought.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the benchmark I was using, but I did not explain that.
Yeah, okay, fair. No, yeah, Sam's correct. And
Yeah.
I think like they can see a lot of hues within that field. Like so they can tell colors are different even if they're not seeing like the colors we see. And then I think cats can't see as many hues.
Okay. Well, that's why he's having this party.
Yeah. This guy better
sunset.
be a crepuscular man. Or else
Muscular
there's
man.
a crepuscular man. Or else he would just be giving himself worse vision.
Getting migraines all the time.
Yeah.
I also have, like, a biological concern about
Oh.
Magnus Bane.
Yeah.
He is a warlock, which, as I recall,
Oh, yeah.
is,
I
like,
know what
half...
you're about to say. Yeah.
half demon, half human.
Yeah.
And I believe, Sam, you said that that's either almost always or always a human mother and a demonic father.
Yeah, because the only mother of demons is Lilith.
Oh, right.
Mm.
There's only one female, reproductively active female demon.
Yeah, I think. Don't quote me because she goes off the rails in the later series. So again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's always like the greater demons and like whatever. And the only female demon is Lilith. And
Okay.
she has one child.
Is it Magnus Bane?
No.
Because
Okay. Because
okay.
You haven't met him yet.
Ah.
it's like, Simon. No. Well, because my concern is
Yeah.
that Magnus Bane does not have a belly button of any kind,
Yeah.
which means he is, I guess, a non-placental mammal, or not a mammal at all.
Yeah.
Because, like, a belly button is where you were attached to the placenta of your mother
Yeah.
in utero.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for this. I'm just very
I
confused.
think if maybe, I don't know if this is true, but maybe he just didn't like his belly button and magicked it away.
He just took it off.
I mean, he's a warlock. He can
That's
do
fair.
whatever he wants to his appearance.
That makes the most sense out of all of it, honestly.
Yeah. It makes way more sense than trying to figure out how he fucking spawned, I guess, in a uterus.
Well, I assume what you were also thinking, which is what I was thinking, where I was like, oh, maybe the mother
He
was
came from
a
an
demon.
egg. Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're right. Yep. No, I was thinking, oh, maybe his mom was the demon, and demons don't traditionally get pregnant.
Yeah, they don't, like, demons probably aren't placental, because I think placental gestation has only evolved once,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's, like, a little more complicated. It's not like carnivorous plants that are just doing it all the time, or like crabs. It's only happened the one time.
Yeah. No, but it makes sense that he would just magic. I mean, I feel like if I already could just make myself as hot as I wanted to be, and then I was like bored, I'd be like, yeah, sure, get rid of the belly button. Why not?
I feel like that would end up being like an uncanny valley kind of thing. Where you're like, ew, belly buttons are gross, I'm gonna get rid of it. But then it would be more unsettling, because no one
Yeah.
would be able to figure out that's what the problem was. They'd just be like, that guy's, there's something up.
Or you just like forget what things aren't weird about a human body, and you'd be like, I'm gonna make my ears perfectly smooth. Hate all those weird ridges. And then people would look at you and be like, what the fuck is happening over there? You're like, I'm gonna get rid of my face pores, and people are like, oh, a plastic man.
That's a mannequin.
That's a mannequin came to life. I don't want my eyes to be wet anymore. It's too weird.
It is weird.
Dusty eyes.
Dusty eyes.
Anyway. Okay, I love that. I'm
Yeah,
on board
just-
with him magicking away its belly button.
I don't know if this is actually canon, but
No,
it
I want it
is
to
what-
be.
yeah.
I'm wishing it into reality.
From what little we can know about him so far and can glean of his character, that
Yeah.
does sound definitely like something this man would do.
Yeah, now that I know Magnus Bane really well, after one single chapter,
Yeah, exactly.
he would do this.
He would do this.
Because he's a guy who covers his banisters in something that glows and is green.
Yeah, what the hell?
What the hell?
What is that?
Maybe it's from one of the other creatures
Oh,
at this party.
just dragging their slimy hand up
Yeah.
the banister.
Yeah, and
Maybe they're a
wow,
slug.
with that great segue, I also
Oh.
want to talk about the other creatures at this party.
Okay, give her.
Yeah, I didn't do much biologizing on these, but I did just want, because they aren't like named, revealed what
Yeah.
creatures they are. So,
Oh, most of them are warlocks.
Oh, really?
oh,
Yeah, like
well,
the humanoid
ahead.
ones that have like one different feature, like
Yeah.
that's indicative of a warlock. If it's like more than one different feature, then that would probably be like a fairy thing. But your
Shark
like,
Boy and your Lava Girl. No, Shark Boy and Frog Girl.
Well,
Frog
there was
girl.
like the webbed foot girl
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
the other ones, like where there's like one distinct characteristic. That's what they call a warlock's mark. So that's how you can tell they're a warlock. So like Magnus, it's his eyes.
Okay.
Webbed foot girl, it's her webbed feet.
Now I have a
Yeah.
question about
Yeah.
the bartender because she has two very obvious traits.
What are they again? Remind me.
She has purple skin and forearms. So does that make her not a warlock? So
Is she like, she reminds Clary of statue of like a Hindu god.
This
Is that-
again,
might be first book
Might.
behavior.
yeah,
Yeah.
where she, again, the whole tagline was all the myths are real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anymore because yeah. Anyway,
I mean, if we're so one of those traits could be a chosen one, right? Like she could
Yeah.
be like, I want to be purple.
I think so.
And she could just like magic that.
I think I'm like,
Yeah.
but she doesn't. This is the problem. Is like she doesn't go a lot into detail with that. Maybe she did, and I just didn't pay enough attention. But I don't think like because the Shadowhunters are the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the warlocks.
This is like world building flavor. Like it's just like thrown into the background
Yeah.
to be like myths are real.
You're not supposed to analyze it like this.
Interesting.
Well, and I will say she released like there's like 3 or 4 novella compendiums where they have like 6 novellas in them. They might go into detail. I never read those.
Right.
So like cuz again, I'm not the kind of person that just like likes reading short stories about the characters. So I tried and I never got into them. And
Yeah.
she wrote a whole thing about Magnus Bane. There could be like more details in there,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and I just don't know it.
That's
But
fair.
my understanding of warlocks in her world was that they all have a warlock's mark, or it's like, I think it's called something else. But
Like a
I
thing
don't
that
know.
they can't hide kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
like horns or cat eyes or something like that.
Right.
So, yeah. But again, now I don't know, I'm doubting. I don't know what this pink lady with forearms is.
Yeah. I feel like
She's a Machamp.
yeah. Yeah. I feel like Cassandra Clare might have probably walked back from implying that one of the like Hindu deities
yeah.
was like
it's a
a
creature.
random
Yeah.
side character in her books.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna choose that the like nicest interpretation of that is like a warlock who has given themselves extra limbs like a Hindu deity
Yeah.
just to like give that vibe or something.
Yeah. Well, she's also a bartender, and she's making good use of those extra limbs. Like,
Yeah.
she could be a purple-skinned magic user who was like, you know what tool I need for this job? An extra set of hands.
An extra set of hands would be up near the top of things I would add to my human body. It's just because at the end it's like, oh, it reminds her of the Indian goddess. Anyway, I don't really have a lot to say about that because it doesn't line up with any specific Hindu like god, because a lot of them have 4 arms.
Yeah.
Because I did look this up. Having 4 arms is like it's like in iconography. Yes, in iconography of Hindu gods and goddesses, it's usually a symbol of like divinity and power, dominion over the 4 quarters of the universe, like the circle of everything. Like that's what the 4 arms usually mean. So a lot of the gods and goddesses have it. But like the purple skin, I don't know, like quote unquote, like spirit of wine. Like you'd think of like, oh, Dionysus is like the god of wine. That's who I'd expect to like be behind the bar if you're trying to like fill out your world, right? But there's nothing like that. None of the Hindu gods or goddesses are portrayed with purple skin. So yeah, I just wanted to be like, could be something. I'm going to choose to believe it's a person and not one of the gods is here. The reason I want to talk about the other ones, though, because what I do really like is like random, like lowercase, like entities, like spirits or like, I don't know, you think of like naiads or kelpies or like water creatures like that, which are just regular guys. You know, it's not like
Just
the god
some
of
guys.
something, regular guys. And I do really like the idea that the warlocks are those, and that's what has been throughout history.
Okay.
Right? Like, oh, you see the like water spirit in this spring, or you get your dude down the street gets eaten by a kelpie. That was like secretly a warlock. Like I really like that as a concept. So I did just want to say that the two people at this party that are specifically described are like a guy with like greenish black hair that is wet and he has shark teeth. And then a girl who has flowers in her hair and webbed feet like a frog. And both of those like line up really well with descriptions of like folklore creatures. So the girl is like pretty clearly a rusalka, which is a like Russian, like Slavic, I guess, generally, like woman who sings men into the bog and drowns them and then eats them. You know,
God,
one of
I
those
love
classics.
A bog gnawer.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot about rusalkas because of Mercedes Lackey books. Anyway,
Oh my god.
but like what I really like is this is very clearly like a rusalka, you know, singing, dancing naked women in the bogs and forests who like lure men to drown and then eat them. And then the boy man thing, shark guy,
Wow.
is probably a Nyx, which is like the male version of like a Nixie, which is a Nixie is basically the same kind of thing. Like drown men in the water, and then a Nyx is just sort of like a guy who will drown you and eat you. A wet guy.
Just some guy.
Yeah.
A wet man.
Yeah, because like the traits of a Nyx and a Nixie are sort of like a Selkie, where some part of them is always damp. Like usually on like a woman or like a female of whatever, it's usually like the hem of their dress or like the bottom of their pants are always wet, and that's how you know it's a Selkie or a Nyx or a Nixie. Like that's usually a pretty common piece of folklore around like water creatures.
I would have been taken.
I would have been taken by
I
the
would have been
Nyx,
taken
by the Selkie. So, and this guy's hair is wet, and he has shark teeth, so he's clearly some sort of water creature. And
yeah,
so
he's also eating raw fish.
Yeah, and the thing about the rusalka sings, dances, and the Nixie, it's like it's also well known that they like music and dancing. So I really like that these are the two creatures that she put here. Like clearly she put some work into looking up folklore and was like, these two creatures really like music and dancing. I'm going to bring them to this party.
Nice.
So I think that's fun.
That is fun. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And that's really all I had to say about that, because I don't have any biology to go with it.
To be honest, that's much more than I had to say about these two. I was mostly just like, that's interesting.
I mean, did you have
Frog
anything?
feet.
Yeah, did you have anything to add about it?
Nope. I
Great.
just thought it was cool.
Yeah, they are cool. Imagine the three of us thinking water creatures are cool.
Thinking sea creatures are cool.
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Weird.
I was just thinking when you were describing all of them, they all had to do with like, you know, creatures luring men to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, is the reason that all of these like mythical creatures are women and drown men because men have been afraid of women forever?
Forever.
Or was it
Yeah.
a way to villainize women so that
I
they
was going to
could
say
like
it so they can blame them.
Yeah.
and then burn them at the stake? And I was just, I don't know. My brain's in
Yeah.
a weird place.
A single woman lives out in the forest. She's probably a rusalka trying to drown us.
Yeah,
We better murder her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, can you think of one mythical creature that is a man that lures women to their death? No, because they're just real
No.
men.
Yeah, I was like, that's just
Oops.
a serial
Oops.
killer.
That's the serial killer.
No, but in all seriousness, there's not like
I mean, vampires.
Yeah.
I guess Dracula is the first. Yeah.
But, like,
that's
still, like-
true.
It's because it has to be like we're going off on a big. Everyone, stop listening if you're going to be offended by this. The like because they have to be magical for a woman to overpower a man.
Also, that, but I was just gonna say too, Dracula is kind of modern, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
In the context, I more meant like these
Over
things are
all
like
time.
folklore, like
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
back, and it's always a female-esque creature.
It's always a hot lady or a horse. The only thing
Yeah.
that can defeat a man.
Yeah,
A magic woman or
I
a
mean-
magic horse.
yeah.
Like, it's things that men want to have sex with no consequences.
Horses.
Oh, that too. Oh no.
No.
I'm right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that men want to have sex with horses.
Oh, well, you know they do.
Why
Yeah.
would they?
I've seen some headlines.
Oh no. I don't want to
No,
talk
but, like,
about this.
I assume that's why things like sirens and like selkies exist, right? It's like,
Seals are hot.
like, well, just so like, no, I didn't like choose to have sex with another woman. Like, she seduced me because
yeah.
she's an evil creature.
And it's her fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when really it's like she was probably a peasant woman who didn't have a choice in the
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Wow, what a great... You're ruining folklore for me. Stop
I'm
it.
sorry.
Stop it.
I had my phone playing reels while I was doing dishes, and it was on One Using Labor by Paris Paloma while my hands were wet, so I just listened to it on a loop for like 6 minutes, so that's probably
Oh my
my
god.
problem tonight.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just angry at men.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, too bad for you guys, because I read so much Mercedes Lackey in 2005 that my folklore love is impenetrable. You can't ruin it.
I wasn't intending to, so that's nice.
Too bad. You can't.
Dang, I'll have to try at all next time, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, I can't wait for more weird folklore creatures to show up in this book. I'm having a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah. I mean, another weird folklore creature shows up pretty soon after these ones and goes, Magnus Bane!
Yeah.
Someone poured holy water into the gas tank on my bike.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot.
Which I appreciate that he kept my stupid yelling bit going.
Yeah.
This
All caps.
this 30-year-old bald vampire with a souped-up demon motorcycle got really mad that it was vandalized and blamed Magnus Bane for it.
Yeah.
Don't have a ton to say on the matter. It's just very funny that this happened.
Yeah, I find it hilarious that how much vampire like mythology has changed from 2005 to now. Because I feel
Yeah.
like there are very few vampires on motorcycles in a motorcycle gang these days. That's usually werewolves.
Right? Yeah. Don't you mean
Wolfmen.
wolfmen and or Moon's children?
Yeah, sorry.
Children of the
course.
moon.
Children of the moon. Yeah.
Once again, Children of the Moon sounds way better than Moon's Children, just as City of Bones
and Bone City.
sounds way better than Bone City.
Moon's children from Bone City. That's my job and place. Anyway.
Moon's Child. Yeah, and this is another world where the vampires and the werewolves have beef, I guess.
They gotta.
So we can't get away from that one.
Yeah.
But
It was interesting that Clary notices what?
I did notice that, but
I
I wasn't going to
noticed
point
it.
it out.
I was reading while speaking. Could you tell?
Yeah.
Clary noticed that the vampire fangs were as thin and sharp as needles,
Uh-huh.
which is fun.
makes way more sense than
Makes
like
so much sense.
carnivore teeth that are just going to rip your muscles apart.
Yeah.
I wonder if these vampire teeth are hollow, like actually
Ooh.
hypodermic, like a mosquito. Yeah, little mosquito proboscis.
Ugh. I don't like the idea of teeth being straws. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. I hope they just make tiny holes and then they slurp on them.
I kind of like that it seems like these vampire teeth might be straws, just because it vindicates my childhood belief that that's how vampires would drink blood.
Oh, okay.
Upsucking it through their teeth.
Upsucking? Stop.
That's really gross.
That's gross.
Siphoning?
Upsucking is correct, yeah. I am getting a lot of secondhand sensitive tooth pain right now, just thinking about slurping something inside my teeth.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
my teeth are extremely sensitive, so I'm just like, no thanks. That would hurt so bad. Anyway, then Magnus Bane does like crazy magic.
Yeah. He just like telekinesises this vampire.
Yeah, he like chokes
Does a
him.
force
He
choke
force
on him?
chokes him, and then yeah, which I guess means that these vampires breathe,
Oh, true. I didn't even think of that.
unless it's like, well, then I was gonna be like, unless it's just like cutting off his jugular, but then I'm like, I guess they also have moving
Then they would
blood.
have blood.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
might be that might have been a poor, I don't remember.
you know, if I didn't breathe and someone like crushed my throat, I would probably still be upset about it.
I mean, you still
Yeah.
need air moving over your larynx in order to speak.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So that it could just be that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was talking and someone pinched my larynx, I would probably go "Gah!" and
That's
clutch at my
fair.
throat also.
Yeah.
Okay, we solved it.
We solved it. So, sorry, I just read the line where Jay says Alec in all caps. This is so
Yeah.
funny. I love all
Alec.
caps.
Why is that funny?
Why is
like,
it so
it's
good? Because I do
very
it all
funny,
the time.
but it is funny.
This is
That's
very was online in 2005 energy.
Yeah, good point. Tumblr, the
Mhm.
novel.
Then they go hang out in Magnus Bane's bedroom.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw, their bikes run on demon energies. and it's
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
I even have much to say, but for some, their bikes run on demon energies is cracking me up a little.
Like, do they just
Come on, guys.
do they ring out a demon into their gas tank?
That's a
Do
great
they like trap it in
question.
there? Hmm.
How do you
That's a
do you
great
pour it
question.
in?
I literally have no idea.
Huh.
I think it's supposed to be one of those like I
Trust me, bro.
no, like, oh my god, like the more demons there are like on Earth, like the better their things will run. But
Oh.
I could be
Oh.
wrong.
It does say they're just like converted to run on demon energy, so they probably still have a regular gas tank. So you
They
can
don't
still
have a catalytic converter. They have a demonic
They're
converter.
probably like to seraph blades to angels, like
yeah.
the same thing. Like they're probably imbued with like demonic magic. And so as soon as the holy water's in them, then they're like,
yeah. So like they still have a gas tank just because that's what the original motorcycle had. So it's not
I
like
would
they use the
assume.
gas tank for demon energy.
Yeah, they don't put a demon in the gas tank.
Yeah.
No.
Probably. On a little hamster wheel?
Well, it's you know how you can put a genie in a bottle? Maybe you can put a demon in a gas tank.
I don't
I
think you
love
can.
those kids' book. If you keep a demon in a gas tank. If you give a mouse a cookie.
I don't think that's how it works.
Is that how it works?
I don't know though, but maybe.
Could be.
I feel like it's like they're like imbued with like like demonic runes, like seraph blades are imbued with
right,
like
runes.
angelic runes or like something like that, so that the demonic energy from their blood, right? Because they're a demon virus, is like
right.
used
Oh, yeah.
and channeled to like enhance the bikes or something.
Blood-powered motorcycle.
Yeah. Wow.
Badass.
Yeah, kind of cool, maybe.
Maybe kind of cool. Ugh.
Do we know why did something happen previously where Jace raised his eyebrows a lot? Because Magnus
Okay.
raises an eyebrow and then Clary's like, damn, another one.
I went back and reread the previous
Okay.
6 pages to try to find where Magnus raised his first eyebrow,
Yeah.
and I couldn't.
No,
guess Jace raises his
she was
eyebrows a lot.
referring to the fact, like, because she
That
mentions
Jace
at
does
one
it all the
point that
time.
Jace does it, and how she was like, "Oh, I always wish that I could do that." That's what she's referring. It's not
Oh.
Magnus Bane doing it again. It's that.
Right, okay. That's what I thought it
Okay.
was, but I was like, it's been 2 months since we read the last chapter. I
Yeah.
don't remember what's going on in specific
See,
details.
yeah. I did read it very literally, and I'm like, another eyebrow.
His other eyebrow has been up this whole time.
I was like, wow.
Wow,
He
he's
raised
just
one
holding
eyebrow
it.
and then brought the other one up there with it.
Dang.
Alec is like briefly animated twice in
Yeah.
this
Poor guy.
chapter. And both times it's him being excited over the idea that vampire motorcycles might be able to fly.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time he's grumpy and quiet.
I just feel like the shadow hunters would be in way less danger of losing all of their children to warlockery if they let them do cool stuff like make their motorcycle fly. 'Cause Alec
Right.
is just like, dang, this is the coolest thing.
So cool.
Like, clearly
He's gonna
that's
go out
like-
and become a vampire.
He just wants some kind of cool car that flies
Mhm.
or a motorcycle or something.
hmm
He's going to take up with a bad crowd, and then where are we going to be? Fighting him at the final battle, I bet.
Yeah, in the Bone City.
Yeah. No, we've already been there.
Oh, in the City of Ashes.
Yeah, probably.
In the Chain of Rose Gold or
What?
whatever it's called.
No, that's a different
What?
Harry Potter fan fiction you're thinking of. Not this
Darn
one.
it.
Anyway, so then Clary, it was her mom the whole time.
Wow.
Wow.
None of us saw it
None
coming.
of us saw it coming. It also seems kind of wild that in this conversation she has with Magnus Bane. Sorry. The
Magnus Bane.
Magnus Bane. And the... What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I got caught up in the bit. Magnus is like, I don't know, Annie Valentine. I'm sorry for your tragic circumstances, but I fail to see what any of this has to do with me. And Clary's like, his eyes flickered like wavering candle flames, and Clary knew he was lying. It's like, this guy is like the, what, High Warlock of Brooklyn?
High Warlock of Brooklyn? Yeah.
If surely he knows how to hide lying better than this.
Right?
Does she just have magical vision that she can
She
tell when a
does.
warlock is lying?
I don't know if
Maybe.
it does that, but she does have magical vision.
That's fair. He does mention it. She can
Yeah.
see the invisible world.
The
Yeah.
capitalized invisible world.
Yeah.
I do like that the way that Magnus Bane got caught
Yeah.
having done this was like in a previous chapter with the Silent Brothers, they pulled the name Magnus Bane out of Clary's mind.
Yeah.
And that's how she knew to go look for him. I thought that meant they like pulled like the sounds of the words or like someone saying his name repeatedly kind of thing that like stuck in her memories as like an important part of
Yeah.
this part of her life.
Or like pulled a hidden piece of magic that like nobody knows is part of their magical trace, you know, and they found it or
Yeah.
something. But instead,
But instead, Magnus Bane signed her brain
Yeah.
in golden magical letters.
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. You know, that's so Magnus Bane.
That's so Magnus Bane of
That's
him.
so Magnus Bane.
When we started reading this book, I was picturing like Bane from Batman, but with like big hair, like
Yeah.
what's his face from the Spider-Man series? There's the like Predator guy, and also Australian. I was picturing like Australian Hulk with long hair,
Yeah.
and it turns out
Turns out
that
it's none
he's
of
just it turns out that he's the Onceler.
that. Yeah.
He lives in Brooklyn.
And he lives in Brooklyn. Like,
Ugh.
really, why did you think Australia? Are we ever going to learn why you thought it was Australia?
Because Bane was in Australia in like chapter 1.
Oh, okay.
Luke said it offhand.
Luke said it. It happened.
Like, oh, isn't Bane in Australia? And they were like, I don't know. And then for some reason, that's the only thing that my brain decided to retain from this book.
You're like, this is important.
This is really important. I gotta know. But no, he's not a Hulk who lives in Australia. He's a
Weird.
My Chemical Romance guy in New York City.
Yeah. You just keep listing people that I would find hot, unfortunately.
Yeah. Listen, we were all on Tumblr in
Yeah.
2015.
Wow. Yeah, and then, you know, we get the mic drop moment, and then we're just going to have to guess what happens next. Sam is going to tell us the first sentence of the next chapter too, and then we're going to guess it. What happens?
The next chapter is chapter 13, The Memory of Whiteness. And
that was a choice.
That's me every day.
oh boy. The sentence isn't much, but it is, my mother did this to me, Clary demanded, but her surprised outrage didn't sound convincing even to her own ears.
Wow. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? Wait, so is she not even surprised?
She's
No,
acting
she
like
is-
she's surprised, but she's not.
She's not.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I
No
feel
one's
like
surprised.
as soon as she learned her mom was a shadow hunter, she was probably like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
True.
I mean, okay, in this chapter, we're going to learn more about maybe Jocelyn's
Mm.
whole situation.
Her whole deal.
Yeah. Maybe not the whole thing, because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of her thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's gonna go in and like unblock the memory, and we will see what the memory was.
Oh.
Memories.
Yeah.
It seems like he blocked a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
I think, yes, that's going to happen. And it's just going to be like an overwhelming flurry of images of weird creatures that she's seen throughout her life.
Mm.
Right? Because it's basically just
Yeah.
blocking her capital S sight.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
I wonder why. It must be like coming of age, coming into your powers, that she like started to be able to see the demons, right?
Yeah. And that she saw the shadow hunters. So like something. I wonder.
I wonder if it's her birthday was actually the day that she was able to see the demon.
Oh, yeah.
Like her birthday is a different day than the one she's been told it is.
Ooh.
Sam giggled a little bit.
She did giggle a
knowingly,
little.
so I think I'm right.
No, you're not exactly right, but
No.
No,
If-
you're wrong, but that's
if I
fair.
remember correctly, I think her mother brought her every year on her birthday.
That would make sense.
This makes
But-
sense.
Again, they changed a lot in the shows and the movies, and I can't remember if that was one of the like TV movie changes or if that's actually what happened in the books. So I guess we'll see in the next chapter.
Okay.
We'll find out.
find out. I was thinking that it was like, oh, I can't be Valentine's kid because my birthday's 3 days later. And it's like, just
Yeah.
kidding. Your birthday was 3 days before. But anyway, no, this also makes sense that it like wears off close to the day.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Neat.
Needs to be re-upped.
That would explain why Luke was asking about it.
Mm.
Is he
But
going to
again,
be
I
here?
don't remember if that was like a showism or movieism or
Right.
if that is the
Yeah.
book thing.
It's
Because
all of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and Luke won't be at this party because Bane didn't invite any of the werewolves.
Oh yeah, true. Sorry, please. It's the Moon's children.
The Moon's children.
And again, I just keep swinging and missing. I think this chapter, there's going to be a big dramatic to do to get them into the next
Into
scene.
Mhm. Simon is finally going to get kidnapped.
Yeah, I think Simon's going to get kidnapped this time for sure.
This time for sure.
This time for sure. No, I think. Well, I think what
I need
feels.
to check.
You're like, yeah, does he get kidnapped this time? He's gonna get kidnapped eventually. I know it. It might be book 8 or whatever, but I.
No, yeah. Okay.
yeah. Okay, maybe I should stick with it. Because I was also gonna say the other guess I would have is that Clary gets like a flurry of memories coming back, and that like knocks her out or something, and she has to like be brought back home to process.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And maybe
She's gonna pass
Simon
out
gets
into the next
kidnapped at the
chapter.
same time. And she passes out into the next chapter.
Yeah, well, Clary is passed out. Nobody notices Simon going missing.
Exactly. It's the perfect
Wow,
crime.
I think we figured it out. I think that's it. It's gotta be. There's no other possible answer.
Yeah. These chapters are so long. I'm sure other things happen unless it's all exposition again, which it could be.
It's just gonna be like all memories and then she passes out. Right?
Yeah.
I think.
And Simon gets kidnapped.
Yeah, you've guessed
Yes,
enough.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's important.
Don't
Sam's like,
forget
"Stop it."
Simon getting kidnapped. It's really important.
Simon getting kidnapped is really
this
important
time
to the
for
plot.
sure.
This time.
This
for
time
sure.
for sure.
Kidnapping does occur.
Oh my god, it's
Ooh.
Simon. It's not.
It's
I
Simon.
didn't say
It's
it
gotta
was
be.
Simon. I just said a kidnapping will occur.
Sam would be cackling if it was Simon. Because I'd be so right.
Or
Okay.
she'll be cackling when it's Simon and she's holding back now.
Oh yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, since we guessed probably good enough, because Sam said we did, let's talk about what else we're reading. I have not read anything new
Yeah.
since the last time, but I did pick up an audiobook that I intend to read, so I'm going to say that. And the audiobook is called The Mind of a Bee by Lars Chitka, which one of my friends texted me at midnight a few days ago being like, Sophie, I just finished this book about bees. They're crazy. It's crazy. Bees are so smart. So I'm going to listen to this audiobook about bees.
Is it a nonfiction book?
It's nonfiction.
Or a novel?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's just about bees.
It's just about bees.
Yeah,
Okay.
my friend was texting me some spoilers, so I'm excited to read this book about bees and how smart they are.
Bee spoilers.
Yeah, bee spoilers. No, there's no way to do that. Okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah, Beelers is definitely it. Spoil bees. I love that restaurant. Okay. But that's the only book I've picked up. And I haven't even really technically picked it up. What about you guys?
I finished 2 books. I finished Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent.
Still a good
Why are
title.
you laughing about
It's
me?
such a good title. It's
Okay,
so
I was
good.
like, yeah, because she slayed him.
She
you
slayed
know
him.
what I mean?
Oh boy.
Oh.
Wow. Spoil
Anyways.
bees. Come on.
For those who don't know, it is a standalone novel in the Crowns of Nyaxia series that can be read alone, but if you've read the Serpent and the Wings of Night books, you get you get more from it, let's just say.
Sure.
But it's all in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Get
then
slayed.
you get slayed. And then I finished an audiobook for How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong, which absolutely and utterly destroyed me, in which I was listening to while cooking dinner last night, got really emotional, and was like, Rocky, I'm sad!
Sam basically told me to please leave the room. I'm crying last night,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's fair.
I basically ignored her when she came up, and then I was like, I'm so sorry, but I need stuff. I can't. So
I understood the blank-eyed stare. I was like, oh yeah, an audiobook is happening.
I'm fine, and I just need 7 to 10 business days to recover. Thank you very much. Anyways, and then I am reading The Will of the Many by James Islington Still, and I started reading Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yaros last night because my pre-order came a day early.
And that's the first time we're talking about that book
And
today, right
comes
now.
out today, the day of this recording.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy Onyx Storm Day to those that celebrate.
To all who celebrate.
To all who celebrate.
That's it. That's me.
Yeah, I think 3 of my 8 Goodread friends have marked it as currently reading in the last 12 hours or so.
Yeah.
It's got the girlies in a chokehold. I am not actually currently reading anything because I finished the book I was reading and the book I was listening to and haven't started a new one yet. So I finished The Will of the Many, which I really liked, despite what Sam's boyfriend says.
Oh, he is so angry. He hates it.
He got tricked into it. Oh,
He
maybe
says
I'll like
it's a
it then.
YA book in disguise, and he feels duped.
Ugh, bamboozled.
I mean, the main character is a gigantic Mary Sue, for sure.
Yeah.
It's basically Red Rising if Red Rising was fantasy, and if Darrow sucked slightly less.
Hot takes.
is kind of how I feel about it.
Okay.
But I liked it, and I thought Red Rising was not good because there was no internal logic, and Darrow is the fucking worst. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself canceled. And I've started and finished listening to The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters, which I didn't actually realize when I picked it up is like mostly set, or majorly set in Nova Scotia, where I live, which is pretty cool. And it was very good. Yeah. And I think I know which books I'm going to read and listen to next, but I haven't started them yet, so I'll keep that a secret till next time.
Ooh, secrets.
Keep it secret. Keep it
Yeah.
safe.
But one of them could be, but isn't, because when we're recording, it's not February yet. Our February like book club book, which is Legendborn, or Bloodmarked Book 2 by Tracy Dion.
Hell yeah.
So, should be good. Hear lots of good things about that series. 2 of the 3 of us haven't read any of them yet.
I was like, you'll be reading Legendborn. I will be reading Bloodmarked, because I read Legendborn.
Yeah, so we're reading something in that series.
Yeah.
Together as one. If you liked this chapter of Midlight Crisis, please consider rating and reviewing us on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on various platforms, and all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And for me and Hannah, when Sophie starts writing in the group chat about Bryce Owens, I guess also talking, and then also me and Sophie when Hannah starts writing about F1, and then also Sophie and Hannah when I start writing about statistics. What you saw, you would forget, even as you saw it.
Just in one eyeball and out the other, baby.
In one eyeball and out the other.
The best example of this was when Sophie put like an article about, I don't remember, it was something about like tea, I think, being more hydrating than coffee, and me just like vehemently, just so angry, being like, the methods are so flawed in this, and then Hannah and Sophie just being like,
it's like
talking about other parts of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, they only studied men.